Good morning, Moravi Abotai. Be'ezras Hashem, Mincha is going to be 6:40 and Selichot at 6 o'clock. Please be prompt and on time. The question, if a child who's small, who doesn't have to keep halachot of muktze, 2 years old, 1.5 years old, he's carrying something that is muktze, he's holding on to something muktze, like a rock. Let's say, for example, he's holding a stone, and now the father or the mother wants to pick up the child, because the child maybe is asking to be picked up. Is it mutar for a parent to pick up a child when the child is the one that's holding muktze? Do we say it's as if the parent is now holding muktze or not? So the Gemara actually directly discusses this case, and the Gemara says in general, one is not allowed to pick up a child that's holding something that is muktze, and it is viewed in some sense that the adult himself is holding that muktze item. You have to wait until the child puts down the muktze item, and then you could pick up the son or the daughter. Now, of course, on their end, they don't have to let go of it because they don't have to keep the rules. Sometimes people don't realize a 2-year-old child is holding a pen and he's starting to scribble, and it's Shabbat. You don't have to stop him, and you really shouldn't stop him. He doesn't understand what you're telling him. He doesn't understand that there's such a thing called Shabbat. You let him do his thing. If he's 3, if he's 4, and he's already understanding there's such the basic idea of Shabbat, then you have to already start telling him, it's Shabbat, we don't do this, and you start explaining the concept. A 2-year-old child does not really understand it unless he's very, very sharp in general. Unique situations, it could be already from the age of 2. But either way, the child is holding on to an item that is muktze, then you have to wait and not pick him up until he lets go of that muktze item. The Gemara does say one exception, sheyesh lo ga'gu'in alav, which the Gemara interprets when the child is crying for his mom. He's crying for his father, and he really, you see, it's painful for the child that he's not being picked up, and the parents is like, nope, you got to put the toy down. That you don't have to do. When the child is very much in pain, he's hurt, or he really wants to be picked up to a point where he's crying and he's sort of like throwing a tantrum type, then already the Gemara says, and in that case, you're allowed to pick up the child, even though he's holding an item that is muktze. Just parenthetically, it's not similar to what we discussed yesterday. Yesterday, we were talking about a child holding money, and you're holding his hand. You're not picking him up, you're holding his hand. And there, because money is valuable and you're walking down the street, there was a concern that you might come to pick up that money, and then you would violate muktze. Here, it's a completely different circumstance, as is explained. Baruch Adonai le'olam, amen ve'amen.